All right, let's dive right in. Picture this. You know the feeling. It's July, your bags are packed, that out-of-office email is officially on, and you are so ready to hit the road. But you look around your living room, and bam, that familiar wave of anxiety hits. What on earth is going to happen to all your houseplants? Look, summer heat combined with the travel season, it's literally the #1 source of stress for plant owners. You've spent all year nurturing these green beauties, and the thought of coming back to a crispy, wilted jungle? Yeah, it's terrifying. But hey, I've got some great news. Plant survival during your summer vacation is actually incredibly easy when you just have a proactive plan. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to adapt your watering routine for the heat and how to set your entire collection up to totally thrive while you're away. To get you totally prepared, here is our survival guide. First up, summer watering basics. Second, pre-vacation plant prep. Third, surviving short trips. Fourth, systems for longer trips. And finally, plant sitter success secrets. Let's get to it. Starting with section 1, summer watering basics. This is all about adjusting for the heat. Okay, so before we even think about packing your bags, we really have to look at what you're doing right now. Because the reality is, summer heat changes everything about your everyday care. Soil dries out significantly faster during those hot summer months, right? So you absolutely cannot rely on your winter schedule. You need to be checking on your plants every 1 to 3 days. But here's the golden rule you need to remember. Wait until the top 2 inches of the topsoil are completely dry before you even reach for that watering can. Honestly, if you have a huge collection, grabbing a moisture meter is a total game changer to make this check super fast. And when you do finally water, timing is everything. You want to aim for early in the morning or later in the evening, and always use room temperature water. This gives the roots an actual chance to absorb the moisture before the midday heat just evaporates the whole shebang. Now this right here illustrates a concept that will literally make or break your plant's survival: how you pour. We have deep watering, which means pouring thoroughly until it completely drains out the bottom. And conversely, we have light watering, which is basically just giving your plant little sips here and there. So why does this matter so much? Well, deep watering actually forces the plant's roots to grow downward, deep into the soil, chasing that moisture. This builds a highly resilient plant. Light watering, on the other hand, it encourages shallow roots that just hang out near the surface. That leaves the plant incredibly vulnerable to quick drying when that summer heat kicks in. Building that deep root resilience is exactly what your plant needs to survive when you do eventually travel. Moving on to section 2, pre-vacation plant prep, the stuff to do right before you leave. So you've got your everyday summer watering dialed in. Awesome. Now it's the day before your trip. There are 3 non-negotiable, completely gadget-free steps you absolutely must take before you lock that front door. Step 1, group your plants together. Just move them all into one spot. Clustered plants actually create their own little microclimate. They share humidity and they lose their soil moisture much more slowly. Step 2, move them completely out of direct sun and into bright and direct light. A hot, sunny windowsill, that will drain a pot of its moisture in a single day, but a slightly shadier interior spot holds onto that life-saving moisture far longer. And finally, step 3, give them a deep, heavy drink right before you leave. Remember that deep watering technique we just talked about? Yep, do exactly that right before you walk out the door. For a lot of scenarios, just these 3 simple steps alone are all the protection you need. All right, section 3, surviving short trips. We're talking trips of 1 to 5 days. Let's say you're heading out for a long weekend. Your plants will be perfectly fine with just our basic prep, but you can also use some really simple aids to stretch their moisture based on your specific timeline. If you're going to be gone for just 1 or 2 days, you can actually leave a deep saucer of water under the pots of your really thirsty plants, allowing them to sort of sip from the bottom. But quick warning here, don't do this for longer than a couple of days, or you're risking some seriously soggy, rotting roots. Now, if you're gone for 3 to 5 days, try sliding a pebble tray with water underneath them. It adds ambient humidity as the water evaporates. Or honestly, even easier, just move your plants into the kitchen or the bathroom, since those rooms naturally stay a whole lot more humid anyway. And don't worry, we'll talk about the 1 to 2 week solutions in just a second. But first, we need a quick reality check, because this is a huge plant care myth. We all panic about every single plant we own. But the truth is, your drought-tolerant plants literally won't even notice you're gone. Seriously, hardy species like snake plants, ZZ plants, and cacti, they are built for this. If you give them a deep water before you leave and pull them out of the blazing sun, they can easily survive up to 2 weeks without a single drop of extra water. No special setups required. You can just cross them off your worry list completely. Section 4, systems for longer trips. This is for those longer 1 to 2 week absences. So what about the plans that aren't so tough? Well, this is where passive watering systems transition from just being a fun little trick to an absolute necessity.
One of the absolute best, most reliable methods is wick watering. It relies on a pretty cool scientific process called capillary action. As defined here, capillary action is just the physical process where moisture is slowly and steadily drawn upward into dry soil through a wick. You can literally just run a simple cotton or nylon string from a jug of water directly into the soil of your plant. That dry soil naturally pulls up the exact amount of water it needs right up the string. It's a completely passive, absolutely brilliant system. But, and I cannot stress this enough, this is a massive but. Always test your wick watering setup a few days before you actually leave. You really have to know how fast the plant is drinking. Is that jug going to be bone dry in 3 days, or is it going to last the full 2 weeks? Testing it in advance allows you to accurately judge the rate, and if you need to swap in a bigger water container, you can do it before you're halfway across the world.
And for your absolute most dramatic, humidity-hungry tropical plants, you can try the plastic bag hack. By placing a loose, clear plastic bag over the plant, just making sure it isn't, tightly touching the leaves, you effectively trap all that moisture inside and create a little mini greenhouse. This drastically slows down the drying process. However, this is incredibly important. You must keep a bagged plant completely out of direct sunlight. If the sun hits that plastic bag, it literally turns into an oven, and you will essentially steam your prized monstera like a side of broccoli. Nobody wants that. Keep them grouped in the shade for sure. Bringing us to our final section, Section 5, Plant Sitter Success Secrets. This is all about setting your sitters up to win. Okay, so you're going away for a long time and the passive systems just aren't going to cut it. You have to rely on a real human plant sitter. Having a friend or neighbor help out is fantastic, but you really have to set them up for success. This foolproof checklist eliminates all the dangerous guesswork. First, leave short, written notes grouped by the plant's actual needs. We're talking super simple instructions like water these 2, leave the rest alone. Second, physically group your thirsty plants together and then go put your dry, drought-tolerant plants in a totally different spot just to prevent any mix-ups. Third, leave them a moisture meter. Tell them to water based on what the meter actually reads, not based on what they guess the plant needs. And that brings us to the ultimate warning you must give your sitter. You need to kindly, but very firmly, tell them this. Overwatering is the usual mistake, not under. Listen, well-meaning neighbors and sitters have this natural instinct to just shower your plants with love, which usually translates to drowning them in water. An underwatered plant, it can almost always bounce back with a good drink. But an overwatered plant develops root rot, and it dies. If your sitter just checks once mid-trip, combined with that deep watering you did before leaving, your collection is going to be perfectly fine. So, what does this all mean? The big takeaway here is this. Your bags are packed, but are your plants prepared? Because as we've seen in this explainer today, just a tiny bit of preparation completely guarantees their survival. By adjusting your summer watering technique early on, grouping your plants, utilizing those simple passive systems, and effectively communicating with your plant sitters, you take literally all the anxiety out of leaving. You are totally empowered to walk out that door and just enjoy your summer vacation. But it leaves you with a final challenge to think about. Are you merely keeping your plants alive on life support, or are you ready to build the kind of deep-rooted resilience that allows them to thrive completely independent of you? Try testing out one of these passive systems this weekend, even if you aren't leaving town, and see just how self-sufficient your indoor jungle can really be. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy travels!